I act in and on the world. I do not hesitate to make my mark. Do not delay and pray like a sniveling simpleton. Others may pray to me, but I pray to none. I act. Those slow to act and the self-righteously slow to anger are the poor and pathetic. I act. It is a world of crutches, but you must crush yours. Break them apart and walk free. Seize the healing you must demand and the enhancements you crave to rise. Divorce your parents and leave far behind all your lovers. Murder every crutch, every love that separates you from fully becoming your own true God self. Kill your dearest, slay what you ride upon, so that you may indeed be free. Patience is the virtue of those upon whom the world acts. It is a link in the chain of self-slavery and religion. I reign over my fate. I act in and on the world. From the Holy Book of Randcast Waybreaker, recorded by Scribe Gelder. That's a pretty creepy welcome, but welcome. That is the prologue from Jack Zulu and the Girl with Golden Wings. And now I welcome my co-author.
Hello, everybody.
J.C. Smith. This is my son, Josiah. That's pretty creepy, right? That's a scary prologue. The first book had a scary prologue from that dude as well. And what do all great stories have in common? A terrible villain. That is convincing. That tells. You said something earlier when I read that, and you said it was like a lot of that's true. It's kind of like there's parts of it that are true, which is sort of like we were talking about the serpent in the garden and how a lot of what he said was true. It was kind of a big lie hidden in some truths, and that's kind of Rancast's way. And part of the whole story is like if you're looking for kind of moral clarity, that kind of a thing in stories, like you really got it in this. But I think it's honest. Moral clarity in that it's got characters who are, who are nuanced. They're not perfect, they're not cookie cutter, that kind of a thing. They are nuanced characters. But you've got this really clear sort of a path between, and Jack, our main character, Jack has this he has this real example of like he could follow after Rancast, right? That's part of that's there in front of him the whole time. As far as the stories go. That's there in front of him the whole time is this opportunity to follow after Rancast, but he's also got somebody else that he can look to, or a couple other guys, right?
True. Yeah.
Who are those people?
There's a lot of cool characters in this story. We've got Joseph Wheeler. He's sort of the wizard guide. Fills that role in this story. You get a new character who we haven't got to see very much of in the Jack Zulu universe, which is Steve Robinson. He's a cop. He's Michelle's dad, and he's super cool. But yeah, there's a lot of moral clarity that reflects what's true about the world, which is that there is none that is good, no, not one.
Yeah. And there's and it's like even just like moral goodness, like there's the sort of a choice between sort of I follow after Rancast, I can be great, I can be this great person, but it's really comes down to like this contrast between, we like to say it a lot, is like the way of life and the way of death. And the way of death feels very inviting, and that's like Rancast's way, like you seize your own stuff and you make your own way and you bow to no one and you kind of follow, but it's kind of like go get it, like go achieve your greatness, get up and put your boots on and get to work, and like there's a lot of good sort of in what he's saying, but it's twisted in this sort of way of life and way of death. Anyway, we have these characters, and why do you love Star Wars? Darth Vader is amazing, right? He's a character, and so the baddies are baddies and the goodies are goodies, but there's this moral complexity of like, oh, there's something tempting about this baddie, this main big bad character of Rancast. And we get to see more of that. And I like that Steve is in this one more, because Steve is like, you think about people who haven't read the series yet, Wheeler is, tell us who your favorite character is. I'd love to hear that, like in the chat, maybe like tell us who some of your favorite characters in the Waylander's Key and in The Girl with Golden Wings, in the first two stories, who are your favorite characters? I bet a lot of people are going to say Benny. That's sort of my guess.
He's a fan favorite for sure.
We hear that often. But we got these really cool characters that sort of that Jack can look to. Wheeler is like almost like a Gandalf kind of a character. He's not that, but he's like the wise sage. I love him. He's got an interesting backstory, and he's a really cool character. But I think but he's a little bit like distant because he's a sage and he's wise, almost like kind of like a wizard. But we have someone a little bit closer to Jack's own experience, and that is Steve, and he's sort of like regular guy in the town. He's somebody that Jack like goes to church with. You know, he's one of his best friend. One of his best friend's parents. So he's right there, and that's kind of an exciting thing. You know, I don't know. I love Steve in this book. Like Steve got a lot of time, and that was there like when you were creating the story, right? When you were first thinking about the story, Steve was a big character.
Sure, yeah. I think Steve represents, like we talked about, the way of life, but in a little bit of a different perspective than Wheeler would. Yeah. He's got a bit of a more dynamic space in the story, and so he shows Jack the way of life in probably a new way than we've previously seen in the Jack Zulu world.
Yeah, I think you're going to enjoy it. There's a lot of action in this one. There's a lot of like fighting and stuff. And so I think that's Steve's involved with that, and that's really cool. So welcome tonight, you guys. We want to welcome you. We just jumped right into this conversation about Jack Zulu and the Girl with Golden Wings. But it is release day. That's what today is. And today's also West Virginia Day, which is kind of cool because the story of Jack Zulu and the Waylander's Key and Jack Zulu and the Girl with Golden Wings are both set in this small town in West Virginia called Myrtle. And maybe we'll get into a little bit more about that. But we're excited. This is a fun to share West Virginia story with you on West Virginia Day. We're so glad you're here. This is going to be fun. We're going to have a good time. We're going to take some questions. We'll do a little bit of Q&A a little bit later on, not very far away. And we're going to give away a lot of stuff. I'm going to invite my brother, Josiah. This is going to be a little confusing because I've got a brother, Josiah, and a son, Josiah. I'm the only one with any kind of clarity here. Sam, good old Sam is here with his boring old name that's different than everybody else. But he's going to come on and we're going to do our first giveaway, first of 3 giveaways, and then we're going to do a 4th grand big old giveaway. But we're going to get things started right off the bat. Josiah, welcome.
Welcome.
Come on down.
The live stream.
Come on down. Do we have fake applause? That would be so good.
We can have real applause.
Hey, thank you.
Welcome.
It's so good to see you guys. We're ready to have a little bit of fun, invite people into the story, and one of the ways that we're going to celebrate the release of this book is by giving away some books and giving away some other prizes.
Whoa.
So,
Hey, look at this.
Oh
what are we doing?
We're gonna
I
make
know
a
what's
mess.
going to happen with those.
This is a fun set. Do you like this set? I mean, we've got.
It's not a set. We're just in a real place.
We're in a kid's basement in the 1980s, and it's real.
Yeah.
All right, so the way that you enter to win during the live stream tonight is we're choosing from people who comment on the live stream. So we're not incentivizing just a ton of comments, but we are going to look for particular ways and particular comments. And the main way is if you have a 1-sentence review of Jack Zulu and the Girl with Golden Wings, we would love for you to enter that. For those of you who've read the book already, enter that. That will be the entry to the grand prize later on. So if you've read the book and you have a sentence that kind of captures what you think about Jack Zulu and the Girl with Golden Wings, put that as a comment.
And that might be a little bit confusing because it's release day. It's official release day for Jack Zulu and the Girl with Golden Wings. But the reason why that makes sense is that we sort of like, this is what we do. We're sneaky. We sign and we sell a bunch of books. Like we do that often at our store. So at our store, Jack, you could have gotten Jack Zulu. You could have had it for a month now, I think. Mm-hmm. But out in the world, everybody else in the world who's not in our little our gang, our cabal, I don't know what we are. We're just buddies. But to people who buy from our stores, you know, maybe subscribe to our newsletter, people like you guys who are watching, you've had an opportunity to buy and have this book for quite a while. So that's why we're saying that, you know, inviting those reviews. And just a broad invitation is that those reviews can be so helpful to authors like us, independent authors, just a big deal. So creating that and sharing it, even if it's just 1 or 2 sentences, really valuable. But for now, we just want you to share those in the YouTube link, and then you're entered.
Yep.
And what about how are we selecting this first one? If
Well, we're going to choose from someone who's already made a comment. And if
Awesome.
you want to, and you haven't read the book, but you want to say what state you're from or what country you're watching from, we'd love to know that. So go ahead and do that. Say what state you're from or what country you're watching from. And we've picked one commenter already for the first. Yes, got him right here.
I know who you are. You don't know who you are yet, but you've won something remarkable.
what have they won?
So the first winners are winning a signed copy of Jack Zulu and the Waylander's Key, and Jack Zulu and the Girl with Golden Wings, and a Jack Zulu shirt. And on the count of three, I'm going to announce their names. It's Jessica and Kellen Lee. 1, 2, 3.
It feels dangerous. It's smoke. There's not a lot of ventilation in this room.
Excellent. So there is confetti on the camera. I don't know if it's coming through on the shot, but that could be entertaining. Might want to pluck that one away. My wife loves it when we do this because it creates a mess. Actually, I was sweeping the other day, and I found a piece of confetti from, I don't know, probably a year ago. So this is fun. This is fun. All you moms out there can relate to how fun this is for my wife. Congratulations for that first prize. I would just say one thing about commenting, like we're going to ask questions and we'll get to some Green Ember stuff too. I know you guys, probably a lot of you guys like Green Ember stuff and you want to ask some questions about that, and that is cool. That we love that. Please don't do spoiler stuff, like for people who haven't read the whole story yet. Like don't ask about like who died and that kind of a thing. You know, just maybe we'll just keep it cool, keep it friendly, keep it nice in the comments. Maybe no spoilers about Jack Zulu either, even though we did a bit of a spoiler with the title of the book
true.
that comes out today.
I do have one question. Why did Jack Zulu die?
That's
an example of what not to ask.
That's what don't do. Yeah, don't do that.
was
You'll
for
have to read the
plot
book
reasons.
to find out if that is true or not. Remember earlier when we were talking about a lie surrounded by truth? That was a truth. That was a lie surrounded by a lie.
One lie and a lie.
Okay, so right now we're moving on. Oh yeah. This is cool. This is so exciting. You might be confused too because it's like, what? Well, I've already had this book for a month or whatever, and I've had it for a while. That's exciting, but now it's release day. Again, this is when we're just releasing it wide to the world. But it's not the only book that's been released that we were like announcing, right? We're in the pre-order phase right now of another book that is also set in West Virginia, and that is called The Found Boys. And I am so excited to share that with you. That is like, I don't know, it's been kind of a long time coming. It's our first traditionally published book. That means that we're doing it outside of our small company of Storywarn. And we're partnering with an awesome publisher called Harvest House, and they're so good. Not only do they harvest, not only do they have houses, but
They publish books.
they publish books. They're fantastic, and we love working with them. And that book is coming out on September the 12th, which is something I knew going very far back in my life. September 12th, and so we're doing pre-orders right now. There are some really awesome deals for that. And one of them is at Christian Book. Have you guys heard of ChristianBook.com? I used to get the Christian Book. We called it the CBD, but that's kind of changed meanings these days. But we got the Christian Book, you know, what do they call it? A pamphlet?
Magazine?
It wasn't a magazine.
Catalog.
And we would pour through. I remember being a kid in South Africa and pouring through that thing and thinking, I want to get a new Michael Card album or a new Rich Mullins album. And from there, and we did. And it was how we had the best prices. And guess what? They still do have the best prices 75,000 years later. And now that I'm an adult, we got the Found Boys is on their site right now. That they still have catalogs, but since I was a kid, they have invented something. This is breaking news. It's called the internet. People have websites, they call them. Are they involved with spiders? I don't know. But they sell the books on their website. ChristianBook.com has an amazing deal right now for the Found Boys. And we're doing more. If you pre-order that book from anywhere, ChristianBook.com is the place I would buy it from if I were you. But if you pre-order it anywhere, then you can go to sdsmith.com/foundboys, sdsmith.com/foundboys, Found Boys and get some of these incentives, these goodies. We're trying to incentivize you to go buy the book. It's very sneaky stuff. Actually, it's not that sneaky at all. But you get, guess what you get? Free audiobook. That's pretty cool. After the book releases, you're gonna have to, people are gonna have to buy the audiobook like regular people, you know. But for now, you can get the audiobook for free when it releases in September. But if you order it now, if you pre-order it now, that's cool. Another thing you get is this what do you call it? A read-along guide? What would you call that? Activity guide. Activity guide. It is a guide to your activity. It is very cool, actually. It's really beautiful. I love what they did. Harvest House really took the lead on that, and it looks amazing. That will come. It's like questions, the kind of stuff that you want if you're going to have a discussion about a book. It's like the perfect thing to do that. So a lot of you families out there, you're going to love it. It's awesome. It will help the conversation. And I think this is a book that you're going to want to have good conversations around. It's going to invite really good conversations. It's also pretty funny. Do you like it? Is it a good book?
I love the Found Boys. I feel like you wouldn't want to say too much about it because you wouldn't want to brag, but I can brag on the Found Boys a little bit. I think it might be my favorite S.D. Smith book. It's pretty short, so if you're not like a huge reader, it's definitely worth a shot. But there's a lot in there. I think if for people who like the heart and the humor of the Green Ember series, and even of Jack Zulu, it's about these kids who sort of cross paths in an interesting way and sort of have this adventure up a creek. And it's hard to talk too much about the book without giving away some big spoilers. But I think it's a really cool book because it comes from special places in your heart and is maybe I would say loosely based on the childhood of S.D. Smith, at least some elements of the book. I really love it. It's phenomenal and definitely worth a shot.
Thanks, man. We did not plan that. I appreciate that.
I did.
You do have you do like those kinds of stories. Like again, there's some similarities with Jack Zulu, but it's pretty different.
Sure,
There's a setting similar, small town West Virginia, but this is not a fantasy at all. There's some like hints at that kind of a thing, but it's really just the kids being confused. But yeah, if you like sort of those 80s adventure sort of a stuff, but maybe like in a more family-friendly kind of a way, I think you'll love this story. But it has some heft to it and weight to it. But it's really about friendship and forgiveness. That's what the story is about. And we got a little bit of a clip here, which we filmed right in this spot in the 80s kids' basement, and we're going to show that to you right now. I told my kids the Green Ember stories, and those are about keeping faith amid chaos. I told them this story, The Found Boys, and it's a fun adventure about friendship and forgiveness. It's easy to find examples everywhere, all over, of strife and bitterness and hatred, and plenty of parents are happy to eat from that septic snack shack and feed their kids there too. But not you. You love your kids, and you want to give them good, nourishing food, good food for their souls. This book, The Found Boys, is for you. The Found Boys is an exciting adventure about friendship and forgiveness. Like the Green Ember, it started in my home as a gift to my kids. It's a new story with an old soul, from my home to yours.
Hey, welcome back. I wanted to say it this time.
Good job.
It was a good clip, wasn't it?
It was a good clip.
I didn't watch it.
Remember that time when you were a kid and you pooped your pants? Oh, let's go to the clip.
I've never pooped my pants.
Let's go to the clip. And
That's never happened.
Okay.
That is not appropriate for the internet.
We don't have the clip ready? We don't have the clip. Okay. All right. I just wanted you to see his face where he's like, No, I'm just kidding. We all did it. We all had diapers. It's going off the rails.
It's not in your pants if it's in a diaper.
Well, you have pants on, and let's move on.
This is heavy.
Let's move on, shall we? There's not a lot of this kind of thing in the books. So books. Lots of books these days. I went to, me and my brother Josiah went up to Chicago recently, and we saw some kids, and they were like, hey, another book, what's going on? You got a lot going on. And I pointed out that I said, yes, for the rest of the year, I will be releasing a new book every single day. And that was a little bit of a hyperbole, but it does feel like probably a lot of books going on right now. And some of you might be asking, we've got Jack Zulu 2, we've had Mooses with Bazookas recently, which is resonating with people. That is not a real heartfelt, deep conversation sort of a book, but a very silly, funny one that people seem to like. Maybe mention in the chat if you are enjoying it, or who, if that's one of your, if you're having a good experience with Mooses with Bazookas, then perhaps share that with your buddies. But anyway, we've got Mooses, then we had Jack Zulu 2, and now Found Boys is coming out soon. So books, and I will just tell you, we haven't forgotten about the Green Ember world. There is more to come in that world, and I'm excited to keep sharing Green Ember stories, but that may be a little while. And now let's go to our second giveaway. Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, one of the things that I failed to do is tell people what the grand prize is. I said you could win it, and I never even said what it was. So I'm going to...
We know a couple things about it. It's a prize.
What else?
What about the scale?
I have an idea.
Would you say that
It's not low.
it's grand?
It's very grand.
Is it a grand?
No.
It's just $1,000
No,
in
to be
cash.
clear, it is not a grand.
It's not a grand.
Can I be entered to win?
No. I'm sorry. You're disqualified.
So we're doing three minor ones and one major grand finale, massive giveaway. which
And the
we're gonna
grand finale, the grand prize is all 10 Green Ember books signed by S.D. Smith. Jack Zulu 1 and 2 signed by S.D. Smith and J.C. Smith. Mooses with Bazookas signed by S.D. Smith, plus a Jack Zulu shirt. And now for the...
Should we throw in this 1980s Gary Gaetti Twins baseball card? I mean,
Yes.
We'll see.
I don't
Expect
It
it.
might happen. Probably, it definitely won't, but it's nice to dream. Okay,
All right, so the second winner is of a Green Ember, signed copy of the Green Ember, a Green Ember tote bag, and a Green Ember Oath hat.
the Green Ember tote bag and the Green Ember Oath hat. Those are very cool items. The book's good too, I think. It's all right. It's above average, maybe. But that tote bag is awesome.
You can put things in it.
And can you
very
buy the tote
adorable.
bag?
Yes, you
in our
can
store?
at
So
store.storywarren.com.
all the stuff's available at our store. Store.storywarren.com. But this one's going to be free.
This one you
This
won't
one
have to
you
pay
just-
anything for. You
Exactly.
You win it.
And I can see the name. I know who it is. Once again,
cheating. He
we're
keeps
expecting
cheating.
great things for you.
win it. All right, the winner of the Green Ember signed copy and Green Ember tote bag and Green Oath hat is Beth Jelinski.
Beth Jelinski!
Beth Jelinski.
Good job, Beth.
Zelensky, that thing. You did great. That was awesome. So now we're going to move on to the Q&A portion, which my brother has left, but he needs to come back and ask us questions because we are more of the question answerers.
We don't ask the questions.
We're not out here
We won't be
asking-
asking the questions.
Are we
here.
asking the big questions? We don't ask.
I am.
Do we? We don't ask the little questions.
We ask the grand questions.
We don't even ask. Yeah, grand. That's good.
What do we have?
All right, gentlemen.
here?
Your first question is, was Myrtle inspired by any particular small town in West Virginia?
I'm going to let Josiah Caleb answer this, but first of all,
Are you going to let me answer
what
it?
is Myrtle?
What is Myrtle? Myrtle,
I just want to also point out that this stuff, this graffiti, confetti, not graffiti. This confetti matches your shirt perfectly. You
I
can't
think
even
we
tell
can just-
that it's on there.
can
because
leave
your
it on
shirt
there.
Is so. This I would say.
camouflage.
Comment if you think this shirt is zany or not.
I think it's zany. That would be
zany
my
or not zany. But
word.
I think it's zany. All right.
So the question was, what? Wait.
Was
hold
Myrtle
on.
based
Was
on-
Myrtle inspired by any particular small town in West Virginia? But let me say to start out with, that Myrtle is the setting of Jack Zulu and the Waylanders Key. It is, like the question indicated, a small town in West Virginia. There is a small town that geographically I may have taken some influence from, and that will remain a mystery as to what that town is. So somewhere out there, there's a small town in West Virginia that looks a lot like the layout of Myrtle, if you've ever seen like the maps in the book or anything. But I would say more so than that, it's almost like an amalgamation of small towns in West Virginia. hopefully, I just think it feels like a real one. If you ever go to West Virginia, I think you'll see a lot of myrtle in a lot of places, especially like in southern West Virginia.
Especially if you go back in time to the 80s.
To the 1980s. Yeah, so yes and no, and are both the answers to that question.
I would just say yes. I like what he said at the end. The beginning part, I'm not so sure about it. I would say on the zany scale, it was. I don't know how high it was, but I agree. It's like every small town, and I think even if you're from Iowa or from New York or from other places, upstate New York probably or something, it'll feel real to you. And a lot of the story is about like loving your place, and this happens to be in West Virginia, but we really dig it when people fall in love with your own home. That's really a lot about what Jack Zulu is about.
All right, that question was from Emma. Thank you, Emma, for the question.
Thanks, Emma.
This question is from Jayla. Do you both contribute to the humor sprinkled throughout the dialogue, or does that element belong solely to one of you guys?
That's a good question. I am going to let world-renowned author S.D. Smith answer that.
I would say yes, that it's both of us for sure. That might be a little bit more on my side of things.
It comes from you. I often find myself, so like we lay out these books, like I sort of beat up like the story, like elements of the story and like the sort of, if you outline, like I outline that.
And every character, is from something that he started.
But then I send him that sort of, we call it a beat sheet that has like these different sort of numbered elements of the story. And then he'll send me back completed chapters. And it's really remarkable to see just this sort of vision you have in your head really come to life on the page. And I've found myself laughing out loud at, like it sounds corny to say, but I really have found myself laughing out loud just reading chapters from this guy and just like the dialogue and the interaction between the characters. It cracks me up.
And you're probably thinking of, like with humor, you're probably thinking of Benny largely. And he's such a fun character to write. Like we both love like the shaping of him as a character, and I loved like being able to sort of let loose and let him be a very comedic character. And there's heart underneath that for sure, and heroism, I think. But that humor is pretty enjoyable. It breaks up the tension, which you always need in a story like this, where the stakes are pretty high.
All right, I have a question here. What are some of the biggest changes from the earliest drafts to the finished drafts?
That's a great question for you.
Very interesting.
Again, yeah.
Yeah, I would say there are some pretty big ones. I'm trying to think what comes to mind right now. If you've read the first Jack Zulu, the main villain, he's actually based on a West Virginia, we call him a cryptid, like a monster called Mothman. You may have heard of him before.
Okay, he is sort of the main, he's not the main villain of the overarching thing, the guy that we were referring to earlier, Rancast, but he's like the big bad guy in the first story.
Originally, the first draft of that story, and actually not even just in the first draft, but a lot of the drafts of the first Jack Zulu book, he was like a troll. It was sort of your classic like troll living under a bridge scenario, and there was some like rules and systems in place about what I think the bridge might have given him powers or something. I don't really remember.
The bridge endures.
Oh yeah, the bridge, the old stone bridge in Myrtle. They kind of are important in the series.
The bridge is in every realm.
Yeah.
So that's from the trolls.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big change. So what is he now?
He's it's hard to explain. He is, like I said, he's based on Mothman, who is a very frightening beast with a massive wingspan.
Possibly real. A cryptid.
I believe in him.
That's from, he's like, if you think about Bigfoot or that kind of a thing, sort of like West Virginia's version of that. We have a few, but he's the big one, and he's Mothman, and so a lot of people think he's real. So, but we sort of adapted him for this story.
Yeah.
All right, got a question from Ava. If you could go to the Appalachianos family pizzeria, which character from the book would you take with you, and what would you order?
I have my answer. What do you think?
You go.
I think I would. First of all, I'd love to go to Appalachiano's family pizzeria. I think it's a delicious place to eat. I'd imagine it would be. I would invite Joseph Wheeler to come eat some pizza with me. I think he would have some really good advice. He'd figure out all the problems I have in life. What was the other part of the question?
Just who would you take with you and what would you order?
Oh, I would order lately I've been digging like a 3-meat pizza, sausage, ham, and pepperoni. And then the best thing to go with a pizza is a root beer, in my opinion. So ice cold glass of root beer for me, and a 3-meat pizza.
That's excellent. I'm not going to comment too much on that, except to say that in Jack Zulu and the Girl with Golden Wings, we find out what Wheeler, who's this sort of Gandalfian character, what his favorite pop drink is.
This is a very critical element of the story.
Yeah, and if you're a kid and you've ever been to a kid in a place where it's got fountain drinks and you start doing a little bit of mixing action, I'm just going to say that could be Wheeler's.
It's involved. There's a recipe. There's a recipe.
Yeah, you can be just like Wheeler in his wisdom and his choice of pop.
All right, we're going to transition to a few questions about the Green Ember.
Awesome.
And there's kind of a cool bridge question, and it is from Brenna. If you could introduce Jack to one Green Ember character, who would it be and why?
I just love that piece of confetti just fell.
Where did it come from? I don't know.
Wow, that's a cool question. I really like that. So you're introducing a character to, or Jack
Introducing
to,
Jack to a Green Ember character. Once again, I know my answer.
give it, man. Let's go.
I would introduce Jack to Dr. Zyger, because I think if he's not confused enough about if he a talking rabbit, it would be a pretty entertaining situation.
That's pretty good. I'll go more conventional. So Dr. Zyger, if you haven't read in the Green Ember series, he's a very comical medical person who doesn't speak in sentences that are very coherent. So it's very near and dear to my heart, especially as I get older and become much less coherent. I identify more and more with I'm slowly morphing into a Dr. Zyger type, and hopefully it's more entertaining than tragic. But I would do like the more serious thing, and I would say like Jack and Pickett, because I think they would have a lot in common. They're both sort of like the action heroes at the center of their stories, and I think they would like find a lot in common and commiserate. And I think that Pickett would enjoy scarfing down some pepperoni pizza.
Yeah, he would.
Fantastic. All right. A question from Liberty. Is there a way to listen to your soundtracks that are on the beginning and end of the Green Ember audiobooks?
I actually don't know. I like
Good question. Are those Joel's?
Yep.
Okay, so yes, there is. And in our store, plug for our store, store.storywarren.com, store.storywarren.com. And yeah, you can buy that. It's Joel Clarkson. He's the reader of the main 4 audiobooks, and he's fantastic. And he has he's a music composer and performer.
PhD.
Outstanding. And he's a doctor. Speaking of Dr. Zyger, wow. Much like Dr. Zyger, he received a very similar training over in the UK. But brilliant guy, and a lot of that music is in our store under Melodies for the Mended Wood. Melodies for the Mended Wood.
That's right.
It is beautiful. Actually, just recently, I think we got a message from someone who said that their child listens to that as part of the sort of the soundtrack of their life, and it's great for like when you're going to bed, that kind of thing. So beautiful stuff. Yeah, check it out. Highly recommend it.
There's music is a big part of our family, has been of our childhood, our growing up, and now all these young people playing so much music.
The next generation.
We're going to sing a song together at the end of this live event, and I'll just give you a hint of what it is. It's the anthem, sort of
the unofficial anthem of our great state.
Yeah, because it's West Virginia Day, so you just be thinking about what song you think that might be. But this is a musical question as well. Will you release a music album of all the songs from the Green Ember?
That would be really fun. I think let us know if you think that would be cool too. I've heard from people who say they would like that. That would be songs like "Are You Come Home, My Baby Girl," and "Whose Shadow Is Crossing the Moon." Picket Paxley, that kind of stuff. So yeah, those songs we like that. We'd love to share that. That would be really fun. We've had kind of a dream of being like recording those, and I would really like to. It's one of those things. It's just like we would love to create the space and time to do that. But we would love to. If you guys would enjoy hearing that, we would love to share that. We've had a lot of fun. If you're not sure, if you don't know about this, then the songs in the Green Ember all have melodies and music to them. And we do have a somewhat talented young group of musicians, and I would love to do that together. That'd be really fun.
All right. Can you tell us if you will ever write a prequel series about Helmer?
Oh, about Helmer. Well, this is a question we probably get maybe as much as anything. A lot of people love, like, let me know. Again, I keep appealing to the chat like I'm, who are the people on YouTube? Other people on the people on YouTube. But yeah, I think that would be fun. And tell me if you would like that. Consistently, everywhere we go, when I ask who's the favorite character from the Green Ember, Helmer is by far first place. He always wins out. So people love Helmer. It's so funny because he's such a curmudgeon, you know. But people loved him even in the first book, and there was just like a little bit of change in him in the first book. But he's a character that really grows, and people really love him. So I think that would be a really cool thing to do. I will say that. And have I started thinking about that in a really direct way? The answer is yes, I have.
All right, I'm going to ask a writing question. What inspired you to create the worlds of the Green Ember, and Josiah, for you as well, Jack Zulu? Did you know what you wanted to include and how you wanted to build them to be unique? So I guess
that's
that
a really
is
good
probably
question.
more of a question for you, Sam.
Well, I mean, I think it's really applicable, but I think it's kind of like it's sort of in the DNA or in the water maybe of our home. Like I think that's something we sort of do pretty naturally, and you and I particularly have maybe talked a lot about that, along with Anne, his older sister. But it's really it's a disease that we all have in our family that we like.
A disease.
We come up with this kind of stuff, and we're thinking about stories and songs, and that's kind of Josiah writes songs, Anne writes songs. Anne wrote a musical when she was younger, and they're always working on stuff like that. And I don't want to spoil their what's going on with them too much, or toot our horn too much, but that is like not to say that it's great, but that's sort of a natural thing for us. I think even from a very young age, my oldest brother used to tell me stories about a horse and a dog, and we used to, and so I did the same thing. I would tell that story to my baby sister, and then when my kids came along, I would tell them stories. So it's just like this is just like there, like I sort of always doing that. It comes kind of natural. And I think the difference thing is a lot of people are like that. They'll just kind of come up with stories or share stories with their kids. I think the thing is like taking it to the next level is like where the habits come in of like, oh, I'm gonna like be disciplined and put this down and share it, because it's sort of like easy in a way to have like a lot of cool ideas or interesting things, or like a lot of people say like, oh, I've got a book in me, or I've got a story. Like that's awesome. The way that it becomes hospitable is when you share it with other people, whether that's like your baby sister or your kids or somebody that you love. And I think that's like the heart. That's sort of the heart of the story. But for you, I don't know where did Jack, because Jack Zulu is started entirely with Josiah. It was all his stuff. So I've been invited, and a lot of people might think, oh, you're the big creator of the Green Ember. So nice of you to include your son, but that really wasn't what happened. He included me. He invited me in to the world of the Jack Zulu and the Wayland, and we worked on it together at his invitation.
I think in a lot of ways, the world of Jack Zulu is inspired by a lot of classic stories. A lot of my favorite movies or books or, any sort of media involves ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances. So I think the thing that makes Jack Zulu interesting and what inspired the world or worlds in that story is actually a normal kid in a normal town, like we talked about earlier. How Myrtle's kind of, I would say, an average sort of American town. And then, so you sort of see that world, and then this character, this average boy, is sort of transported into a place that's entirely different. So I think those kinds of stories, like Narnia or The Lord of the Rings, even, you sort of have like the Shire into this adventure. Those were big influences on inspiring the world of Jack Zulu.
And that is what happens in the Green Ember. Two sort of ordinary kids get caught up in these big adventures. Yeah,
I love it. One of the books that you've recently written is less on the nose sincere and a lot more on the silly side, and that book is called Mooses with Bazookas and Other Stories Children Should Never Read. I've got a question here from Shade that is, are there going to be more? Do you have more Mooses with Bazookas?
that is a great question. I think we're wrapping up the question period here, but that's a good one to sort of like
Let me just say, if there was more than one moose with a bazooka, that would be concerning. I think one is a problem enough to deal with.
Well, it's mooses with bazookas. They're out there.
But if
buddy.
there's multiple, even just
Mooses.
sections of moose, it's such an issue.
Yeah, it's tough. I would like to tell more stories in this world. I like it. I think it's fun. I think Wally Warmbottom is a great character. I'd like to hear more from him. So that would be fun. And if I'm able to, and again, have the space, I would enjoy very much doing that. Let me know. Let me know in the
Let me know in
chat.
the comments.
Let me know in the
chat.
comments. Give us, put on your comments. I would like more. I would like less. If you like less,
Don't put it in the comments.
we
if
could
you-
cut
if
down
you-
the size of the book, send you an abbreviated copy, but otherwise ask for more, and we might do a sequel.
All right, I think we're ready to give away
Yes,
another
I love this part because we get the
prize.
poppers.
And this one
Giveaway.
includes Mooses with Bazookas, autographed from S.D. Smith.
Yeah, moose.
It also includes another very silly book. How does it relate to the other silly book that we've recently published, Team Burger Shed? How do those two correlate?
They're both funny. That's it. And they're both like family friendly funny. If you like family friendly clean comedy, like that kind of stuff, like you're gonna love Tavin Dillard's book, which is called Team Burger Shed. It is so funny. It is just hilarious. You're gonna love it if you try it out. I keep telling people about it because I'm such a big fan of Tavin. You can check him out on Instagram, Tavin Dillard, or on YouTube. He's so funny. And somebody will probably put his stuff in the comments about where to kind of check him out. But he is so funny. So that book is great. If you want to laugh a lot, this is a good prize for
Yeah,
you.
and this prize reflects our imprint called Best Medicine Books, that we just want to give gifts and let kids and families laugh together. So,
Why is it called Best Medicine Books?
well, I'm not sure. I can't think of why.
Maybe someday.
Laughter.
We'll figure it out.
Best Medicine.
So you get a book, a signed book of Mooses with Bazookas, Tavin Dillard's book, Team Burger Shed, and you also get a T-shirt. Is that correct?
Mooses with Bazookas.
Mooses with
All right, and the winner of that
Be prepared.
prize is Tim Lewis.
Tim Lewis!
Yeah, Tim!
Oh, it didn't work.
Come on,
Hold on. Whoa.
fire, do it!
It's not. I got
Do
a.
it! Fight for life!
I got a dud.
It's impossible. Dad has to do it for you.
We're shooting blanks out here.
Oh, that is not real. All right, we got to put that aside.
This is sad. This
Tim,
is
do
a
you
sad
feel
day.
let down? Have you been?
They only got one.
Have you
confetti.
been marginalized by this kind of thing? You have a right to compensation, and what I would contact your attorney immediately. Possibly, I would also consider when you get your stuff to just throw it right in the trash.
I wouldn't do
as
that.
a protest.
It's a bad
because
idea.
We're not even.
I feel like I'm the
firing
one who's. I'm the victim here because I didn't get to do that. It's really fun. The pause, you know.
What the point is, if you're able to find a way to see yourself as a victim, that is what
That's
you
always a
want
good
to
thing.
do as much as possible because that really helps things a lot.
Tim.
This is exciting. We're gonna sing a song for you, and that's gonna be either good or bad. We're not sure, but we hope it's okay. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. We're gonna sing a song, and then we're gonna announce our final, our final mega big giveaway, and we're also gonna
The
welcome to
grand
stage.
finale.
Scoot over that way a little bit. We're gonna welcome to the real basement, my daughter Ann Smith. Come on down in. We've been saving her the whole time for this moment because she is good at singing. She's been hiding under the table. I think you think that that's not true, but it's 100% literally true. That's exactly what she's been doing. Okay, so many of you guys, if you've been paying attention to us at all for any amount of time, you know that we love our home state of West Virginia, and we are so delighted that it is West Virginia Day, or the birthday of our state. We could talk about the history and Abraham Lincoln and the Civil War and how the state came about, but go look that up. It would be a good homeschool lesson for those of you who homeschool. But more importantly, hey, come visit West Virginia. Come and see some of the beautiful southern West Virginia. Ride the rivers, hike the mountains, bike, trail, see the beauty. We would love for you to visit our fair state and see us and hopefully this song will not discourage you from coming.
Are you guys ready?
Let's do this.
1, 2, 3, 4. Almost heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River.
Life is older than the trees, younger than the mountains, moving like a breeze. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road, all my memories gather round her. Miner's lady, stranger to blue water.
Dark and dusty, painted on the sky. Distant taste of moonshine, teardrops in my eye.
Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country road.
I hear her voice in the morning hour. She calls me. The radio reminds me of my home far away. Driving down the road, I get a feeling that I should have been home yesterday. Yesterday.
Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. Country roads. All right. Thank you guys so much. If you wanted better music entertainers, that's the best we've got. I mean, that's all we can do. But we love our state. We would love for you guys to come visit our state and on these beautiful country roads. And we're delighted to share these stories that are, I don't know, in many ways from the heart and hope of West Virginia. Definitely Jack Zulu and the Waylander's Key, and Jack Zulu and the Girl with Golden Wings are stories that are really, I don't know, they're from the heart of West Virginia for you, and they're an invitation to love the place where you live, for sure. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. We are now going to announce our grand prize winner.
I want a popper this time.
Does everybody get a popper?
Give me one.
All right. Well,
Me.
I hope you give Josiah
Whoa.
one that doesn't work again.
Man,
Hey!
Oh my
Come
goodness.
on, that was interference.
that's interference. What if I just fired it off right now? What would you do?
That would be against the laws of war.
Oh man, I'm excited for this person.
All right, I'm gonna give you the honor, Josiah, of announcing the.
What is the grand prize? What is the grand prize? Tell us again. What are they winning?
They're winning all 10 Green
Green
Ember
Ember
books
books,
signed. Jack Zulu 1 and 2 signed. Mooses with Bazookas signed. Jack Zulu shirt. Wow, I did that together. I don't know how that worked. Now you get to say the name all by yourself, because this is a big
I've been
one.
waiting for this all day. The person who gets the grand finale today is named Abby B.
Moments of Main Street.
Moments of Main
Let's
Street.
go!
Congratulations, Abby. Wonderful. Congratulations to you. And thank you, everyone, for being with us on this wonderful live. One last thing before you go, I would just encourage you, the reviews that you wrote into your YouTube comments. Hey, it doesn't take too long to go and take those and put them on Amazon or Goodreads or Audible. Particularly,
make them real.
Amazon would be great. That would be fantastic. You can't imagine how much it helps small independent publishers like us, small independent authors, to share. To receive a number of good reviews on Amazon really helps a lot. So we're inviting you. Please do that. You don't have to, of course, but we would really love that. For you to do us a solid like that. Thank you so much for hanging in tonight, and God bless you all. You want to say anything else?
Thanks for hanging out.
Ann?
Thanks for hanging out.
Thanks for hanging out.
It's just
That's
nothing
right on the
original,
spot.
nothing new under the sun with this one.
We love you guys. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.